Yeah, like I said, today we'll start with the waste management component. As previous components, this is also a part of it comes under the legal compliance. Especially if you are generating any hazardous waste, the transportation of that hazardous waste to the dumping yard or to the disposal facility involves certain legal requirements to be fulfilled. Even before you generate any hazardous waste, you have to take the permission from the government. When you are setting up, let's say, a chemical industry, you have to clearly mention in your documents what kind of hazardous waste is expected once you start the operations, and in how much quantity, that you will be generating the hazardous waste, and what is your plan of disposal. So all these details have to be submitted to the government agency, maybe to the Environment Protection Agency or to the Pollution Control Board. You have to submit these documents to them, and then you have to get the license. Without license, you are not supposed to generate the hazardous waste, and you are not even supposed to dispose the hazardous waste. First of all, you need the license. And I am saying this not only from the perspective of a waste generator. You take example of other vendors like the disposal company or any transporter who is responsible for transporting the hazardous waste from one location to another location. Even those even those vendors are supposed to take the license from the government. So it is a very critical operation, because see, the one important thing here is waste management is not only related to the health and safety of the people. It is directly again related to your environment protection. And when we speak about environment protection, climate change is also a part of the same cycle, because we have committed ourselves to to reduce the impact of the climate change. So that is why nowadays and from few years, the government has been very strict when it comes to the hazardous waste and the way we are disposing it and what environmental impact it can have. There have been very strict regulations which are in place from past many years. So keeping that in mind, not only in India but also in most of the countries, you need to have a very sustainable plan to avoid as much as possible the generation of waste, and even if you generate, in what way you can recycle the waste. you know so they are giving more focus on the sustainable development of the countries. So in that, waste management plays a very important role. So that is why waste management component in SAP definitely helps the companies, those who want to dispose the waste in a very safe manner, by creating those vendors who are already licensed by the government. So this waste management helps the companies in what we call in preparing all the related documents for disposal process, or even if you want to maintain the quantities of the different waste which you are generating, or if you want to give a code for different types of waste which you are generating in the company. For all that processes, waste management is a very helpful component. And this waste management is connected with a lot of other modules also. Like for example, it is connected with materials management, and waste management is also connected with dangerous goods management. Any idea why the dangerous goods management is connected with waste management?
Due to the any generation of some dangerous goods from the
Hmm.
process, that's why both are connected.
Hmm. Okay, I will put it like this, Shivdeep. Let's say you are generating hazardous waste in your company. Okay, and if you want to go and dispose that hazardous waste, obviously you have to carry it in a transportation vehicle, and you have to travel a bit of distance to go to the disposal facility. So whenever any hazardous substance or any hazardous waste, if we are transporting it, then automatically the dangerous good regulations become applicable on that. So even in our pollution control board, there are some rules and regulations that are pertaining to the dangerous goods. Okay, that is nothing but the transportation of hazardous waste to the disposal facility. We have to follow those rules and regulations. So that is the reason why here waste management is connected with the dangerous goods component. And secondly, I told you it is also connected with materials management. It is because a material can be anything. I mean, it can be a raw material, it can be a finished product, it can be a semi-finished product, or it can be any services which you are taking from the vendor, or uh, it can be any tools and tackles which you are using in the company. It can be anything or any material as long as it is present within the company. We call that as a material. Okay, so waste, though we cannot use it for further process, we cannot use it in a very constructive way. Still, waste has to be considered as one of the material. Though it belongs to the waste category, but still it is a material. So for every kind of waste that you are generating in a company, it is not that in a company you will be generating only one type of waste. Sometimes you will generate plastic waste, okay, and then chemical waste, chemical sludge, or maybe glass waste, or electronic waste, or sometimes biomedical waste also will be generated. So there are various types of waste which is being generated in the company. When that being the case, the material should also be different. Okay, yeah. So waste is also a part of the waste material category. Again, within that material group, there will be different types of waste that is generated. So for each kind of waste, we have to create one different type of a material. For example, H2SO4. Let's say I create a material H2SO4 and I will put it in a waste category. But still, that is a waste material. Or chemical sludge. I will prepare a material chemical sludge. Then I will again put it in a waste category. So like that, depending on how many types of waste you are generating in a company, you have to create so many types of waste materials. That is why there is an integration with dangerous goods management as well as there is an integration with materials management. Okay. So next we'll go ahead and see what is the definition of waste, because the definition of waste is also very important. You should know what is the meaning as per the 1 minute and just yeah. So we'll see some definitions in waste management. So what do you think? How do you define waste, Shivdeep? If I have to ask you, what is basically a waste?
Sir, anything which is
Hmm.
generated out from process as a byproduct,
Hmm.
it can be into any form, solid, liquid, or gaseous.
Yeah, that is correct. But byproducts can also be sometimes useful, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what differentiates then waste from a byproduct? Okay, I'll tell you. No problem. I'll tell you. Substance or object that is no longer useful for the rest of the business process. Means you are trying to manufacture something. Let's say you are trying to manufacture any product. During that manufacturing process, there will be some byproduct, like you said. A byproduct will be generated. That byproduct sometimes can be again reused. It can be recycled. For example, if we are trying to manufacture a plastic article, okay, during that manufacturing, there will be a lot of waste that will be generated. Again, that will be a plastic. You can again reuse that. But there will be other kind of waste will be generated during the manufacturing process which cannot be reused. हम उसको दोबारा यूज नहीं कर सकते. Okay, that kind of a material categorizes to be a waste. So a substance or object, if I have to tell you as per the definition of the SAP, it goes like this. A substance or object that is no longer useful for the rest of the business process, with the result that the enterprise wants to or has to dispose of the waste. A waste is represented in SAP system by a material for which a specific material type can be defined. So a waste is nothing but it is a byproduct during the manufacturing or any other business process which cannot be reused, which cannot be recycled. That is the waste. And here also they are saying that waste, though it cannot be reused, still it has to be considered as a material, and that material will be created in the module. Okay, that is the first point. Second definition is what is waste code. I'll tell you what a waste code is. If you want to note down, you can note down, or even in the notes it is available. Next thing is waste code. Waste code is a number or code that is assigned to a waste in a legally defined waste catalog or a waste catalog within a company. A waste code is nothing but it is a number. Okay, it is a number or it can be some kind of code consisting of letters and numbers. Okay, that is a code. For each kind of waste which you are generating in the company, you can create a code for each type of waste. Okay, and those codes can be maintained in a legally defined waste catalog. I will tell you what is a waste catalog, but all these waste codes can be grouped together and they can be put in a waste catalog. For example, as you can see on my screen, let's say you are generating in your company plastic waste, paper waste, medical waste, e-waste, and some hazardous waste. Okay, these are the different waste which you are generating in a company. So what I will do is, for each type of waste which I am generating, I will design a code where WA01 may specify a plastic waste, WA02 may represent a paper waste, WA03 medical waste, WA04 e-waste, etc. etc. Depending on how many types of waste I am generating in my company, for each type of waste, I will create one waste code. It can be either just a number or it can be a alphanumerical character, whichever it is fine. And if you remember, when we were studying specification management, there also I showed you among the different categories of specifications, waste code is also one of the category. Waste code is also one of the category where you can go and create a specification for one particular type of waste. So both are same. So this waste code is nothing but it is a specification which we call it as a waste code. So here I have written all the examples, WA01 for plastic waste and WA02 for paper waste, etc. etc. So next what I will do is I will group them all together. Whatever waste codes I have created, I will group them together and I will put it in a particular waste catalog. So next, what is a waste catalog? So I'll tell you what is a definition for a waste catalog. Waste catalog is a listing defined by law or specified within an enterprise for the codes, common names, and further description of waste. So what is a waste catalog? It is a listing or it is a list. It is a list which is defined as per the law. Either the government agency will say what should be the format of the waste catalog, or even within your company also you can decide how do you want to use a waste catalog. So it is nothing but it is a list, and this list contains the waste codes, names, and the description of the waste. So for example, as you can see here, waste catalog I have written WAC001. If my waste catalog or list is WAC001, under this catalog I have 5 types of waste or 5 types of waste codes. So what I have done, I have grouped them together and I have put it under a waste catalog WAC001. And in another catalog, maybe I will group together another set of waste codes, maybe related to metal waste, maybe related to radioactive waste, again similarly maybe related to wooden waste, something like that. Okay, depending on that waste catalog, I can group together the different types of waste codes. I can put it as a list in the waste catalog. So waste catalog is nothing but it is a collection of waste codes, or you can say it is a list which contains a group of waste codes. As a standard, there is one waste catalog known as EWC. I have not written this here. Let me write waste catalog. There is one example waste catalog which is a standard actually. EWC, which stands for European Waste Catalog. EWC stands for European Waste Catalog. So in Europe, as per their regulation, they might have created a catalog called European Waste Catalog. So what they do if they are generating any different types of waste in their companies, they will group them together and they will put it under the EWC Waste Catalog. This is just an example. If you don't want to follow any government specified format, you can create your own, like how I created here, WAC001. Like that, you can create your own waste catalog and you can group together the waste code in those catalogs. That is fine. Okay, next. We'll move on to the master data. Before we go there, mm, I told you that we can create specification for each kind of waste. So when you create a specification for let's say some kind of waste, what kind of data can you actually maintain in that specification? Again, that is important because whenever you are creating a specification for waste, you should know what kind of data you can store under that specification. So you can store physical chemical properties related to that waste, the waste relevant and waste law data. I mean, which is applicable regulation for this waste, and which are the rules or as per which law you need to follow the procedure. That waste law details you can maintain in that particular specification. Then the safety data, transport relevant data, and toxicological data. These are some of the data which you can maintain under the specification for waste code, namely physical chemical properties, waste relevant and waste law data, safety data, transport relevant data, and toxicological data. So these are the data which you can maintain for the specification. Fine. Next, master data. Any doubts so far, Shivdev? You want
No,
me to
sir.
repeat anything?
No,
Any
no,
of
no,
the
sir.
definition? Hmm. Fine. Let's continue then to the master data of the waste management. Here, there are certain master data basically means, it is a data which does not change. Master data, wherever you hear, you have to remember master data does not change. Transaction data means every day it will be changing. Let's say if you do some transaction, your bank transactions, if you do on a daily basis, those data will keep on changing on a daily basis. But your account number, the name of the bank, the branch, IFSC code, those things are not going to change. They are permanent. So that kind of a data is known as a master data. So in waste management, we have some of the master data concepts which we need to understand. In this, the first and foremost thing is known as authority assigned number. Authority assigned number. So what is an authority assigned number? A number that has been assigned by an authority or the assignment of which is regulated by authorities or laws. So what is the meaning of this? I told you before you can generate any waste, you have to first go and submit the documents, your plan of disposal process, etc., etc. Then you should take the permission, and only then you will be able to process your waste. So when you go and submit these documents, if they approve your request, they will give you a number that you can normally call it as a license number or registration number, or in as per SAP they call it as authority assigned number. So this authority assigned number, whenever you are generating any document related to your waste disposal, on all those documents you need to print this number. It is just like your registration number. So whenever the government officials, if they want to check the documents, or even when the waste is being transported on the way, if they stop the vehicle and if they want to check the document, it will be very clearly mentioned. So by using that registration number, they will come to know that whether this company is authorized or not. So that license number or registration number is known as the authority assigned number. I will read out the definition one more time. A number that has been assigned by an authority or the assignment of which is regulated by authorities or laws. This is the definition of authority assigned number. And where all can you display this number? There are various documents on which you can display. Number one, you can display it on waste management business partner. Secondly, on waste approval documents, you can display this number, and on disposal documents. These are the three places where you can use the this authority assigned number. Okay, next. Going to the second master data, that is waste management business partner. So what do you understand by business partner? Business partner, have you heard? Nowadays, this is a common term.
Authorized vendor involved in collection and disposal of waste.
Ah, huh. Yeah, that is right. It is nothing but an authorized vendor. It may be related to your what you call waste management, or it may be related to some other activity. It doesn't matter. Business partner may basically means it is a vendor or a contractor. See, what used to happen is before 30-40 years ago, we used to call the vendors as contractors and subcontractors. Then after a few years, they began calling them as vendors. That was the standard word. Now the latest word is they don't want to call them as vendors or contractors. So they call them as business partners. Because in running the
Stakeholders.
business smoothly, even the vendors have to do their part. Without the vendors, we cannot carry out our day-to-day activities efficiently. So they are our business partners. That is what it means. So in waste management also you cannot do alone. Everything you cannot do alone. You need business partners. Especially if you want to transport the waste from one location to another location. You need a transportation business partner. And after it reaches the disposal facility, whether you want to incinerate, whether you want to do landfilling, recycling, whatever, you need another vendor there. So he is also very important. So that is another business partner. So in waste management, you need different types of business partners. So as per the definition, what they define this terminology as: a person, institution, or organizational unit involved in the generation, transportation, or disposal of a waste is known as a waste management business partner. But I have a doubt here. Okay, I understand transportation, you have a vendor, fine. For disposing your waste, you have a vendor, that is also fine. But why do they call even for somebody who is generating a waste is also a business partner? That should be the main client company, no? If I am running a company, I will be generating waste. Then why do they call even waste generator also as a business partner?
No idea, sir.
Hmm. I don't know. Maybe your voice is actually breaking, I believe.
Sorry, no idea, sir, about this.
Okay, okay, no problem. Shikha, I'll tell. So what they are saying is, even if you are generating a waste, we can call as a business partner. A business partner can also generate a waste. A business partner can transport a waste, and a business partner can dispose the waste. Okay. See what happens, big companies, big pharma companies, or big chemical companies, they don't manufacture everything on their own. What they do, they will outsource some of the part, some of the things to manufacture by the third party manufacturer. They will outsource it. Okay, so for example, if it is a pharma product or any chemical product, if the third party is manufacturing on your behalf, they are still your business partner, they are still your vendors, and they are also generating the waste. So that is why, even if a company is generating a waste, even they can be called as a waste management business partner, because they are generating the waste on your behalf. You have outsourced your manufacturing to somebody else. They are manufacturing on your behalf, but at the same time they are also generating the waste. So that is why the third party manufacturers can be called as a waste management business partner. That is why they have called even the generator here. And there are four standard roles which are available in a waste management business partner. There are four standard roles for the business partners, and they are waste generator, waste transporter, waste disposer, and authority. These are the four standard roles which are there in our SAP EHS. And apart from these four roles, we cannot create any new role. It is not possible. So if we are creating any vendor in our system, we can give only either of these four roles to him. No more than this we can create. So these are the four standard roles in waste management. Waste generator, we know. Waste transporter, somebody who transports my waste. Waste disposer is the disposal company. And authority means it can be your pollution control board or any person within the company from the top management who is responsible for the entire waste management process. That person can be called as an authority. Suppose if you want to send your waste for disposal, without your management's approval, you cannot send it. Okay, so there will be one person who will be designated as a authority. So once he gives the permission or approval, only then you can send the waste for disposal. So that person is known as an authority. Or even from your government agency, maybe the pollution control board director, or maybe somebody at the higher level in the department. He can be called as an authority. Okay, so these are the four standard roles available. Next, going ahead to partner type. Partner type means it is just a one line definition. The type of waste management business partner. Partner type means it is a type of waste management business partner. Means it can be a waste generator, waste transporter, waste disposer, or authority. So any one of them is known as a partner type. So if I say partner type, it can be waste generator, transporter, disposer, or authority. Next, disposal channel. This is a very important concept, disposal channel. So what is the definition of disposal channel? A combination of waste generation and waste disposal, a combination of waste generation and waste disposal, comma, the waste generation and waste disposal having to contain the same waste. This is little bit tricky to understand. Okay. So what they are saying, it is a combination of waste generation and waste disposal having to contain the same waste. Waste generation and waste disposal where the waste between the disposal channel. Just to understand what is a communication channel. If I have to define a communication channel, I can say that if two people are speaking, if one person is speaking in English, another person is responding in Spanish, we don't call that as a communication channel. There is no communication happening between two people. If I am speaking in Spanish and you cannot understand, and if you are again replying to me in English, that is not a communication channel. If there has to be an effective communication between two of us, what I am speaking, in whichever language I am speaking, you should be able to understand and you should respond back to me in the same language. Only then we call there is a communication channel between us. Similarly, if I am generating a plastic waste, okay, I am a generator, I am generating a plastic waste. You being a waste disposer, you should take that plastic waste and then you should dispose it according to whatever the procedure is. Then we call that as a disposal channel. So if I am a waste generator and if you are a waste disposer, the common thing between us should be the type of waste which we are handling. If you are not disposing the plastic waste which I am generating, then we cannot call that there is a disposal channel. It's because the waste is different. Why they call this as disposal channel? Because see what happens a lot of times, a company may be having more than one vendor for handling different type of waste. If you are generating medical waste, there should be authorized vendor who is specially licensed to handle medical waste. You cannot expect a plastic disposer to handle medical waste. It is not acceptable. If I am generating plastic waste and also generating medical waste, so it is my responsibility. I should keep two vendors. One vendor responsible for disposing plastic waste, another vendor responsible for disposing medical waste. So the disposal channel between me and the vendor is established only when he is disposing that waste which I am generating. So my medical waste, if I am generating a medical waste, my vendor has to collect that medical waste and he has to dispose it. So between us, there is a disposal channel. On the other hand, the plastic waste what I am generating, that is being handled by another vendor. So he will collect my plastic waste and he will dispose it. So there is one more disposal channel between me and the vendor. So in my example, there are two disposal channels. One is for the medical waste, and another is for the plastic waste. They cannot be interchanged. The medical waste disposal company cannot handle plastic waste, or the plastic disposal company cannot handle the medical waste. They are not interchangeable. We don't call it as a disposal channel. It should be dedicated, and whatever he is authorized to handle the waste, he should handle only that waste. Okay, only then we call it as a disposal channel. This is little complicated, but I'm trying to put it in simple terms. Okay, that is your disposal channel. In a disposal channel, further it is said, in a disposal channel, you specify that a waste disposer can dispose of a particular waste that has been generated by a particular waste generator. Yeah. So in disposal channel, what happens is you should tell what waste that waste disposer has to dispose that is generated by a particular waste generator. So if company A is generating medical waste, then the vendor A should also dispose medical waste. Then I can say between company A and vendor A, there is a disposal channel, because the common thing connecting these two parties is the type of waste. Okay, when that waste is common, only then I can call that as a disposal channel. Okay, this is again further they have clarified. Next, waste approval. So what is waste approval? I told you know there will be authority in the company, or sometimes there will be authority in the department, in the government agency. So if you want to dispose your waste for the first time, what happens is normally you have to go to the government agency. You should take their permission. Henceforth, every month you can dispose it accordingly by taking your internal company management approval. So waste approval is a document prescribed by law or defined within an enterprise relating to the permissibility of the planned disposal of certain waste. So it is a permission. If you are generating plastic waste and if you are generating chemical waste in the company, first what you will do, you will go to the government, you will take the license. You will say, we'll be generating this waste. Okay, that officer will give you the permission in writing. He will give you the permission. That is the first approval, waste approval given by the government. Henceforth, what you cannot go to them every time. No, every month you cannot go to the government office, get the approval. It is very tedious. What they do for 5 years or maybe for 2 years, they will give the permission. Okay. Henceforth, every month, if you want to dispose your waste, you will go to your management guy. He can be a plant manager or a product manager. He can be anybody. You can go to him and you can say, we have so much of waste to dispose. Please, we need your signature so that we can dispose of waste. Then what he'll do, he will check what are the different types of waste we have mentioned in the document, how many kilograms or what is the quantity of the waste we have mentioned. After going through those details, he will give his approval. Okay, now that document on which he gives the approval is known as a waste approval document. So if you go by the definition, it says a document prescribed by law or defined within an enterprise relating to the permissibility of the planned disposal of certain waste. If you want to dispose any waste, you should take the permission in the document of waste approval. Then you can go and you can dispose it. In different countries, there are different names to this waste approval documents. They call it by different names. In Germany, they call it as waste approval, or simply as simplified waste approval, or collective waste approval. This is in Germany. In United Kingdom, they call it as transfer note or consignment note. In European Union, they call it as notification form. I think in India also they call it as notification form. If you want to dispose your hazardous waste, you have to take the approval on the notification form. These are the different names. And what data does this waste approval document contain? What kind of data? It contains the waste codes and the description of the waste which you are going to dispose, name of all the waste. Second is the quantity of each type of waste, licensed waste quantity. Because remember, just because a government has given you the license, it does not mean you can generate as much waste as you want. It is not like that. They will give you some restriction. In a month, you can generate only 50 kilogram of chemical waste. So you cannot go beyond that. You should not generate more than that. That is your limit, 50 kilogram per month. You do whatever you want, you should not cross that limit. So that is why we call that as a licensed waste quantity. If they give you 200 kilogram, you can generate the waste up to 200 kilogram per month. And you should mention in the document clearly how much is the waste quantity that is generated. And third is processing status of the waste approval. Okay, so this waste approval document is there. Now, what is the status? Is it pending? Is it rejected, approved? That status of the processing document that you have to mention. Okay, so these three details has to be mentioned in the waste approval document. Waste code to which waste approval applies, license waste quantity, and processing status of the waste approval. These three data has to be there. Next is entry document. So what is an entry document? A document that identifies the waste entry. A document that identifies the waste entry is known as an entry document. It is just like, if you are generating waste in the company, and if you want to store it temporarily within your company premises, then you have to go to that location and you have to deposit your waste. So while depositing the waste on a temporary basis, you have to fill out a form or you have to prepare a document. That document is known as entry document. So that the company should know who is generating how much waste, okay, what type of waste is being generated in the company, on a daily basis what is the average quantity, on a monthly basis what is the total quantity. They should come to know. So that is why every time the production people or production department, they generate the waste, and when they go to deposit this waste in that temporary storage, they have to fill the entry document. Okay, so what is the details that this entry document contains? It contains which waste generator has generated the waste, which type of waste has been generated, and when it has been generated. So let's say if it is plastic waste, today 22nd January, we have generated 30 kilogram of plastic waste by the production department, like that. And what is the hazardous nature of the waste? That also you should need to maintain. And then if there is any other special instructions related to the storage of the waste, you have to mention the special instruction also. So the entry document contains who has generated the waste, what is the type of waste that is generated, name of the waste, in how much quantity they have generated, on which date they have generated, and what are the storage requirements, etc., etc. These details will be contained in the entry document. Okay, so this is your entry document. It is just like, storekeeper. The storekeeper, when you go to take some material, what he does, he will maintain some entries. So which person he is giving the material, how much quantity he is giving the material. So similarly here also, when you are depositing the waste, because every day you cannot send for disposal, it is not possible. You have to collect it somewhere in accumulation point, and every month vendor will come and he will collect the waste from that location. Every day you cannot expect that you can send for disposal. It is not possible. So you keep it, accumulate it in one place up to 1 month. Okay, that is known as an accumulation point. So whenever you go and accumulate the waste, you have to make this entry in the entry document. So that is why this is also a very important document when it comes to waste management. Okay, next, going ahead. In the entry document, there are some functions which are available. Some functions like post, post change, order, and clear. These are the three main functions which are available. So what is the meaning of post? I'll tell you the definition. This function enables you to post waste quantities from waste management to inventory management in the SAP materials management component. And if required, you can also post it in the warehouse management. Okay. Let's say one production guy comes with the waste and he will say, we have generated 30 kilogram of plastic waste and we want to deposit. So he will deposit the waste. He will make the entry 30 kilogram of plastic waste. Next, what happens is that entry is only available in our waste management component. Nowhere else it is recorded. Once you have made the entry in the waste management, if you want, what you can do is you can copy that quantity and you can also transfer that quantity detail to inventory management. You can copy those details and paste it in inventory management. And if required, you can also send those details to the warehouse management. Because we cannot access materials management or warehouse management. We are only concerned with EHS. So by using this post function, what we can do is whatever the quantity of waste which is available in waste management, if you want to share those details with inventory management and also with the warehouse management, you can copy the quantity details and you can paste it into inventory management and in warehouse management. That is known as post function. Next is post change. What is the meaning of post change? Post change is a function which enables you to change posted waste quantities from waste management in inventory management and also in materials management. So what is the meaning of post change? By using this function, if you want to change certain waste quantities, which you have already recorded in your waste management, you have already recorded the waste quantities. Now you want to change it from 30 kilogram, you want to make it to 60 kilogram. Okay, within waste management, it is easy. You can change it, no problem. But how do you change it in other components? Like you have already posted in inventory management, you have already posted in warehouse management. If you want to change in those other modules also, then you can use post change. So what will happen from 30 kilogram, if you are changing the quantity to 60 kilogram, the same quantity 60 kilogram can again be posted to the inventory management and the warehouse management. So that can be done by using this post change function. Next is order and clear. What is the meaning of order and clear? See, there are two ways in which you can dispose of waste in a company. One is either you accumulate the waste up to a month, up to 30 days, and whatever the quantity you have accumulated, you can send the entire quantity for disposal process. That is one thing. Second is you can accumulate up to a certain quantity, let us say 100 kilogram. As soon as that quantity reaches, you can send the waste for disposal process. So based on the time you can do the disposal, or based on the quantity you can do the disposal. It is up to you. So if I decide, okay, for 30 days I will accumulate as much waste as I can, then I will send for disposal, I can do that. Okay, so what I will do on a daily basis, I will keep accumulating the waste. Once 30 days is completed, I will generate a purchase order. I will call the vendor to collect my waste and I will hand over the waste. That is one way. Second is, as soon as 100 kilogram is reached, maybe in 1 week or within few days, I will call the vendor and I will ask him to clear the waste. So as soon as I generate the purchase order, because the vendor will not come and collect the waste until and unless there is a purchase order. He will first ask for purchase order. When you give him the purchase order to take the waste, he will come and he will collect it. So for 200 kilogram of waste, if you have generated a purchase order, what will happen? Immediately the total quantity will be reset to zero, because we have already generated a purchase order. Maybe today or tomorrow he will come and he will collect the waste. Okay, so he will come today or tomorrow. But anyways, the purchase order has been already generated. So once that happens, once the purchase order is generated, my total waste quantity will be shown now as zero. That is why we call it as order and clear. Order means purchase order. Order means purchase order. When purchase order is generated, then my waste quantity is reset to zero. So now it will be showing as the total quantity of waste as zero. Okay, so that is known as the order and clear function. If I don't generate the purchase order, then if there is 200 kilogram of waste quantity, it will be showing as 200. If it changes to 230 kilogram, it will be showing 230 kilogram. It will be shown as zero only when the purchase order is generated. Only then it will change. Otherwise, it will not change. So that is known as order and clear. Okay. Any doubt so far, Shivdev?
No, sir. No, sir. It's fine. Clear.
Okay. This is little bit like technical kind of stuff, but don't worry.
So
It's
that is
all
related
written in the note. Hmm.
in my daily profile also, the creating the PO and resetting the quantities, what we done manually in Excel, not in SAP.
Oh, oh, okay. So the same waste related you are speaking about.
Yeah, correct, sir. So all these terms
Okay.
are getting clear to me very easy now.
Okay, but I don't know whether you use this post and post change and all. I don't know if it is there or
So
not
we have
in your.
different terms, sir. So we have different terms.
Oh.
For
Hmm,
example,
hmm,
the
hmm.
end document, it is Form 3 here.
Hmm.
So all these we using
Okay.
different. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Since you are from manufacturing, you will be very much aware of these things.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So order and clear is also similar to that only, because
Sir. That is purchase order.
there will be a quantity limit. Hmm. So if it is
Uh-huh.
200 kilogram license, if you have got, you cannot again make it 250 kilogram. Not possible. So you should
Correct.
stop at 200 kilogram. You should generate a purchase order, keep it separately for the vendor to come and collect. Again, you can start from zero. So
Mhm.
that cycle will continue. Every month up to 200 kilogram you will collect, generate a purchase order, again start from zero. So this will go on and on. So that process, that function is known as order and clear. Okay, fine. Next, going ahead to disposal document. I'm sure this disposal document is also very common. You would be using this disposal document.
Yes,
So
sir.
what happens in disposal document? Yeah. So what happens in disposal document is that you can create, print, and manage various disposal documents. Disposal document is nothing but if you want to dispose your waste, either in a disposal facility, or if you want to go to the landfilling area and do the landfilling. Without this disposal document, you cannot move your waste outside the company premises. So this disposal document is your mandatory document which you need to carry. And this document will be there not only with the waste generator, it will also be there with the waste transporter, and a copy has to be given even to the waste disposal facility. Even that vendor will have this disposal document. Okay, so there is one definition, let me tell you, for disposal document. Okay, they have just given a document required for transporting a waste is known as a disposal document. So especially this is used when you want to transport your waste from one location to another location. So there is a function by using which you can create a disposal document in SAP. For example, German waste manifest, there is a standard format, and US hazardous waste manifest also there is a standard format. We'll see this when we go to the transaction codes. We'll see how to create the disposal document. How to create the disposal document, how do we enter the details, what are the different forms of disposal documents we have. So in that, if you don't find as per the Indian standard, what you should do is you have to create a format. You should create a format in the WWI, and then you can use that format for generating disposal document. Okay, so this disposal document also are they are known by different names in different countries. In Germany, the disposal document is known as waste manifest or doc receipt. In United States, they call it as US hazardous waste manifest. And in other places like in European Union, they call it as internal waste manifest and also as delivery note. So these are the various forms of disposal documents. In India, again, they call it as waste manifest. Apart from this, there are 2 or 3 dates which you should remember. Date means, okay, first is, I will just write it here. In disposal document itself, there are certain dates. First is handover date. Second is takeover date. Third is acceptance date. Okay, these 3 dates are used in disposal document. So what is a handover date? A handover date is a date on which you will hand over the disposal document to the waste transporter along with the waste quantities. So let's say you generate the purchase order, the transporter will come tomorrow and he will say, okay, I am here, hand over the waste to me, I will carry. Then after loading the waste into the vehicle, you should also give him the disposal document. He will carry a copy of the disposal document. So the date on which you are handing over the disposal document to the transporter, that date is known as a handover date. And secondly, takeover date is a date on which the transporter is taking over the waste and the disposal document. So handover date and takeover date both will be same. It will not be different. From the perspective of a waste generator, we call it as a handover date, and from the transporter side, we call it as a takeover date. Then what happens if the journey is far? If he can reach only after 2 days, he will reach to the disposal facility. Then he will hand over the waste and also the disposal document to the waste disposal. He is the third vendor now. First is waste generator, second waste transporter, now going to the waste disposal. After handing over the waste to the waste disposer, again this disposal document will be given to him. Okay, that date on which the waste disposer is accepting the waste and also accepting the waste disposal document from that waste transporter, that date is known as the acceptance date. So this is also a very important three types of dates: acceptance date, takeover date, and handover date. Acceptance date means it is the date on which waste disposer accepted the disposal document. Okay, so three dates you should remember. There is one more document. What happens, after the disposal document is given to the waste disposer? He will complete the disposal process. He will finish his work. Okay, if you have given 200 kilogram of waste to him, he will dispose everything. And then what he will do? He will give back an acknowledgement, or we call it as a disposal document return. Again, this is an important document. We call that as disposal document return. This is the name of the document. So what is this? This is an acknowledgement by the waste disposer. So what kind of acknowledgement? This disposal document return will contains details on how much, what type of waste he received from the generator, how much quantity of waste he received, okay, and as per which disposal process he disposed the waste, and on which date he received the waste. All these details he will mention in this disposal document return. And he will say that, yeah, as per the legal requirements, as per the directions by the government, I have successfully disposed this so much quantity of the waste. Like that, he will declare. Once preparing this document, again, this document will be given back to the waste generator. Why? Because whenever the officer from pollution control board visits the waste generator, to him he can show this. Look, boss, last month I generated 200 kilogram of waste. That waste was successfully disposed by my vendor, and this is the acknowledgement copy. So you can show it to them. That is a proof that as per the direction of the government, you have handled your waste. So that is a very important document. We call it as a disposal document return. Nothing but acknowledgement by the waste disposer that whatever the waste was given to me, I have successfully disposed that waste as per the procedure, and I acknowledge that. That is known as a disposal document return. Again, this document will go back to the waste generator. Sometimes what happens here, you should remember one more thing. I have written here quantity check. What is this quantity check means? Let's say every month he will be sending the waste, he will be disposing, again he will be sending the acknowledgement. This process will keep on going. But sometimes what happens, there will be a difference in quantity. You might have sent 200 kilogram, but in the acknowledgement, the quantity will be 250 kilogram or maybe 150 kilogram. There will be a difference in quantity. So that should not happen. Whatever the quantity you have mentioned in the disposal document, same quantity should also be mentioned in the disposal document return, in the acknowledgement also. You cannot say 100 kilogram and he cannot say 50 kilogram. It cannot be different. So if there is a difference, you can run this function known as quantity check, and the system will automatically display all those documents where there is a mismatch. If out of 10 copies, if 2 copies are mismatched in terms of quantity, then it will show both the disposal document and the acknowledgement. In the disposal document, there will be one quantity. In acknowledgement copy, there will be another quantity. So what you can do, you can again call up that vendor. You can say, on so and so date, I had actually sent 200 kilogram, but you have mentioned just 150 kilogram in that acknowledgement copy. So please rectify that error and send me the correct quantity details. You can request him. So what will this vendor do? He will again make the corrections. He will change the quantity details, and he will again share the correct quantity. So again, it is your responsibility. You should be very careful regarding the quantity of the hazardous waste. If you are sending whatever quantity you are sending in the disposal document, same quantity should be acknowledged by the vendor. So that is known as a quantity check. You should check the quantity correctly, and if there is any mismatch, you should ask the vendor to rectify that and again provide the acknowledgement copy. Okay, so this is some of the theory part in waste management. I hope I have covered most of the things as accurately as possible. But again, we cannot go very much in detail also regarding the theory. So I will share the document. You can go through the document and read it. Uh, there is so much of information available in the notes. You can study them. But from interview perspective, they will not ask anything in this shift. From interview perspective, I have never seen anybody ask from waste management.
So in
You know
interviews at the
why?
moment,
Because no,
the,
Shivdeep, I have not never heard. I have never
mm,
heard them asking these questions. Because you know what happens is most of the companies will not implement this component, waste management.
mhm,
Only there are very few companies, you know, in India, like Ramki. Ramki is one of the company that handles waste management. There is one more company, I think Parek Integrated Services. Okay, that is another company that handles waste management. Apart from these two companies, I have never seen any company who is taking care of this waste management. Yeah, maybe in some chemical industries they may be using it, but from SAP perspective, I have never come across any interview questions. But mainly, whatever I told, you know, in specification, product safety, GLM, hazardous substances, dangerous goods, they are very important. From that, definitely they will ask. But waste management, I have not come across, so it's not very important.
okay, sir.
Okay, so this is the theory part uh, up to here. I will share this notes with you, and let us go to the transaction codes.
Mm.
We will continue with the transaction. First transaction code will see uh, specification management. Remember, I told you either CG0 to BD, you can go to this CG0 to BD, wherein you can access all the specification categories, or there is another when we studied product safety. I told you about CG02, where you can only access substance category. And here we have one more transaction code, wherein you can access only the waste management, sorry, the waste code specification category. And the transaction code is, mm, yeah, WACO02. WACO02. If you use this transaction code, you will be only able to access waste management. Only related to waste code. You can go to the waste code or you can go to substance. Only these two will be accessible. But why like this? Why they have created different transaction codes? They can give this only, no, CG 0 to BD. If they give this, you can access any category if you want. Why they give given separate transaction codes?
You have explained earlier also, sir, this is because of the axis. So if somebody is working on a specific module, so he would be having access of that
Ah,
only related transaction code.
absolutely. Yes, that's absolutely correct. So if I am responsible only for the waste management in a company, and if I am a SAP user, then definitely they will not give me access to dangerous goods, agent category and all, because that is not my area of responsibility. I am only concerned with waste management. So what they will do against my SAP user ID, let's say this 14.27. If this is my user ID in the company, against this user ID, they will activate only this transaction code WAC02, WACO02, so that I will be able to access only the waste code related category. That is how they control each and everything will be controlled as per your user ID. But see, even in SAP user, there are two kinds, Shivdev. One is end user, another is super user. Super users are mainly the managers or head of the departments or some top management guys. They will be given access to mostly all of the transaction codes. Because if you have a manager, EHS manager, he'll be concerned with not only waste management but also with risk assessment, with also industrial hygiene and safety, with also incident reporting, and also injury illness reporting, etc., etc. He will be concerned with all the other things also. So he is a super user. What they will do, they will give him the access to all the transaction codes. But since if you are working in a junior position and your responsibility is only limited to waste management, then it is not required. They will curtail your privileges. They will only give access to waste management. So that is the reason why they have created so many transaction codes. Otherwise, it was easier. No, CG0 to BD for everybody. If they give, they can access whatever they want, but they don't want to give that access. That is restrictions. Okay, that is why we have so many different types of transactions. Okay, next we will see how to create the base generator. Yeah, waste management master data. There is something a transaction code related to master data. We will try this once. If it is not supported, then we'll go to the other transaction. CBWAMD. This is a transaction code to go to the master data. Okay. See, again, this is also they have just grouped together some of the master data applicable to waste management. Where if you open this master data, you will find, if somebody asks you, I don't know, in interview they may not ask. If they ask you which is the master data in waste management, so at that time you should be in a position to tell them what are the master data in a waste management component. So you should tell them the waste code or waste catalog is a master data, authority assigned number is a master data, then the business partners is a master data. Within that business partners, you can say waste generator, disposer, transporter. These are the partners. And then you can say the disposal document or disposal channel is a master data. Waste approval document, disposal document, and entry document. This is also a part of the master data. So all these things actually come under the master data category. Okay. So if you want to see the master data in the waste management, this is the transaction code CBWAMD, and it will take you to a location where the master data related to the waste management will be grouped together like this. And also phrases, if you want to see which are used within the waste management, you can see the phrases also. If you double click, you will find all the, okay, no, there are no phrases actually. You can create the phrases if you want, but as of now, there are no phrases for your waste management. They have not created. No. So phrases are also your a part of master data. Then waste disposal document. If you want to go and see the disposal document, this is like a shortcut, Shivdeep. Instead of using different transaction codes, what you can do is you can come to this master data section, and from this you can access various objects related to waste management. See, for example, if you want to go and see the disposal documents, if you double click here, that will take you directly to the waste disposal document. If you click here, then you can display the waste disposal documents. Feel like this, you can display them. No, sorry, this is entry document. This is entry document. See, all these are entry documents. Okay, but we will see them individually. We will see, but this is just an example of. Okay, again, disposal documents is here. Even for disposal documents, what you should do is you should first select which type of disposal document you want to see. See, all these are different disposal documents. Begleitschen 2. This is a German waste manifest. Delivery note is also a disposal document. Hazardous waste manifest is followed in USA. This is a disposal document. Doc receipt is also a disposal document. So if you want to see these documents, let's say data complete. Let's say you want to see the disposal document. If you double click, it will display that. So this is a disposal document. Here you have to mention all the details of the disposal document related to generator, transporter, disposer, and what type of waste you are handling. Those details will all be contained in this disposal document. We will create this. We will create this and see. But right now, I'm just showing you what are the master data. Okay, reporting. No, reporting is not available. Data transfer of data. No, rest of the things are mainly for the customization. You can see again within the material, if you want to see, if you want to create a material, you can create it. See here all this material. In this, I don't know if waste is mentioned or not. No, it is not mentioned. Okay, and if you want to see your business partners, let's say if you want to create a waste generator business partner. So these are like shortcuts. Instead of using transaction codes, if you want to create a waste generator, let us say there is one transaction code also. I'll just tell you. Create authority approved waste generator. Transaction code is WAA01. Okay, let me open one more window. WAA01 to create a waste generator business partner. Okay, so let me give some example like waste generator. No, generator underscore 01. Yeah, I want to create this waste generator. Next is partner type. Partner type means, is he a waste generator or is it a point of generation or internal point of generation? Let us say he is a vendor. I will call him as just as a waste generator. Now if I enter, now I can maintain the details under each of these tabs. I can maintain the details for this waste generator. Same thing can be done here also. By going to this, if I double click here, without using any transaction code and all, if I just double click, I will go to the same screen. Okay, And if I want to create a waste generator, I can create a waste generator. It is all the same thing. This is like a shortcut, I can say. This using the transaction code CBWAMD, master data. This is a shortcut of doing this. Okay. So let us create, no problem. We'll create a waste generator. I have given the name WSD generator underscore 01. Okay, and I have selected the role or partner type as waste generator. Now I have to start filling the details. Role dependent name means company name. Let's say some company name. And internal procedure is the waste handling procedure. If the company has, that will be having some name. Let's say manual for handling hazardous waste, version 3.4. Okay, just as an example. This is my internal procedure for handling waste. Next, I have to enter the details of the audit. When was the last time the audit was conducted? Okay, this is the last audit detail. Next audit will be on 1 2022. Okay, my last audit, next audit, and who is the person or the authorized person doing the audit? It can be EHS manager, EHS auditor, it can be anybody. Let's call him as EHS auditor. Okay. After entering these details, below you can see there is assignment to integration. If you want to add some data object from other modules, you can add it here. But I don't recommend this because it will create some error. I have been trying to do that, but it will give you error. Only if the integration is possible, only then you can add the data from other modules. Otherwise, it is not possible. So if you have a company code name, you can enter the company code or any particular plant to which this waste generator is applicable. You can add that plant name, storage location, etc. etc. You can add those details in this integration part. Next is the contact person details. The contact person details in that plant. So here either you mention the name, the plant or the company code. Both of them cannot be entered. Either enter the company code name or the plant number. Then add the contact person name. Maybe like the contact person name and the plant number. Then go to the next tab, waste generation. In the waste generation tab, you should give the details of the waste. What kind of waste you are generating? If there is any specification created to that waste, what is the specification name, quantity details, etc. etc. So select the waste first. These are the available materials under waste. All these are waste materials. Whichever you are generating, that you should select. Let's say this P182 waste. If you are generating that, select that particular waste. And if there is any specification related to this, you can even add the specification. Let's say for P182, I will search. Okay. This is the specification. Here, last check means when was the last time the waste management data was checked? I mean, how much waste is being generated? What is the average daily waste generation detail? When was the last time the data was checked related to waste generation? If you know the date, you can mention. Normally, every week they will check. Let's say it was checked on 17th. You can add that as the last check date. And who is the person that checked that those details? The EHS inspector. The contact person can be contact person, and his telephone number. If you have, you can add. Next is you have avoidability, recoverability, and disposal. See, this is little bit you need to understand what is avoidability, recoverability, and disposal. Avoidability means you are saying that you generated this waste P182. Why was it not possible to avoid this waste generation? What is the reason? That you have to mention under avoidability. Avoidability means I will show you this. If I press F1, it will take me to this. Avoidability means it specifies why the generation of waste cannot be avoided. In any manufacturing process, no matter what kind of machinery you are using, at least some quantity of waste will be generated. We cannot avoid that. We cannot make it zero. It is not possible. So if there is a reason, if you can avoid the waste, that is well and good. But if you don't have, you have to specify the reason why the waste cannot be avoided. So here, if you want, you can mention like, because of manufacturing process, something like that. Why it cannot be avoided? Because of manufacturing process. Again, you cannot write that directly. It is not possible. You should use the phrases. If it is available in the form of phrases, only then you can assign it here. Avoidability means why it was not possible to avoid this waste generation. That is avoidability. Next, recoverability. Recoverability means it specifies whether and how the waste can or must be recovered. Let's say if you are generating a metal waste or if you are generating a plastic waste, you can recycle it, you can recover it, or even if it is a e-waste, you can recover the metals from that. But in case of let's say chemical waste, in case of any hazardous waste, you cannot recycle. It has to be disposed. There is no other option. So in such cases, you cannot recover anything. Okay, if recoverability is possible, then you should say how you can recover the metal or the material from the waste. Recoverability means specifies whether and how the waste can or must be recovered, how we can recover or recycle the waste. If there is a possibility, you can mention how we can do that. Otherwise, you can leave it as it is. Next is disposal. Disposal means this P182 waste which you are generating. What is the process you are going to follow to dispose this waste? Are you going to incinerate? Are you going to do landfilling? Are you going to treat it before releasing into the water? What is the process you want to follow? That disposal process you have to mention here. I don't know, maybe there is one uh, phrase is there. Let's see. Yeah, dispose of waste in an approved waste disposal facility. So one of the phrases is available. This is the disposal process which you will follow. Next, coming to the condition type. What is the meaning of condition type? Every month or every quarter, you are supposed to submit the reports to the government department. Okay. So some reports will be on a monthly basis. Some reports will be on the quarterly basis. So here condition type means what is a period or what is a frequency during which you have to submit the reports to the government agency. For this type of waste, I don't know, it depends. For this type of waste, maybe on a monthly basis, you may have to submit the report. So select that as the condition type monthly. And here you have to mention the number. Reference number has to be mentioned. As an example, let's say 1089. And then from which plant this waste is generated. The plant number also you should mention. But you should mention the correct plant number. So how will I find out this waste? In which plant it is generated? How will I know that? P182 underscore waste. I have selected the waste, but I don't know in which plant. I cannot simply put any number here. How will I find out in which plant this waste is available? What I'll do, again, I'll go to the tables. Tables is the only place where I can find these things. SC16N, then go to MARC table. Okay, enter the that material number. What is the material? P182 waste. Run, and then it will show me the plant number. See, this is the correct plant number. So I will mention that plant number in my record. Here storage location I will not mention anything because I don't know in which storage location this waste is being held. But I will try. Let us add some storage location. No problem. Okay, waste number partner means whoever is my vendor. If I know the serial number or the unique number of that business partner, I can mention that. Maybe like this. Next, you have another three important terminologies: rhythm, frequency, and cycle. What is the meaning of rhythm? It is the period during which either a waste is generated, transported, or disposed. That period is known as a rhythm. Let me show you. Specifies how regularly an event occurs. Means the rhythm determines the periodicity with which a waste is generated, transported, or delivered to the disposal. That is known as rhythm. It can be daily, it can be weekly, it can be monthly. That is a period. If that is the case, then we have two more things are there: frequency and cycle. So what is the meaning of this? Okay, even if I say here daily, what will I? Oh, next, what should I enter in the frequency and what should I enter in the cycle? Again, that is a question. If I go to frequency, same definition you can find. The frequency determines periodicity with which a waste is generated, transported, or delivered. If I go to cycle, same definition. The cycle determines periodicity with which a waste is generated, transported, or delivered. Then why have they given all the three? Rhythm, frequency, and cycle. That answer lies here. The periodicity is made up of rhythm, frequency, and cycle. And therefore, how you can write for this rhythm, frequency, and cycle? Example, regularly once per week or regularly twice per week or regularly once per month. Like that, you can change the sentence. Here, Regularly is related to rhythm, once is related to your frequency, and week is related to cycle. So it is like a sentence. You should write it like a sentence. That is why you have rhythm, frequency, and cycle. So how you can write here? If you want to write in this place, you can write it as twice, or no, I'll say frequently, okay, twice, maybe per month, okay. I can write it like this. It should be like a sentence where rhythm means frequently, frequency means twice, and cycle means per month. But again, this should also be written only with the help of your phrases. I cannot directly write this. Just to show you, I have written, but we don't have anything here in the phrases. It is empty. So just remember how to write this. That is sufficient. In the phrases, we don't have anything. So I cannot enter. Next, the minimum quantity of the waste that you are generating, maybe 110 kilogram minimum, 100 kilogram maximum quantity. Average quantity you can keep 50 kilogram. Okay, these are the quantity details of the waste. After entering these things, is there anything else left? No, I think it is done mostly. Okay, press enter. Mhm. Is asking for code. I should have. Okay, let me again quickly do it. No, yeah, it is still something went wrong. I will fill from the beginning. No problem. waste generation, waste. Condition type, monthly reporting, plant, level and regular. Yeah. So whenever it asks you like this, should numbers be assigned internally? Say yes. Okay. So this is the number that has been given to our details. Next, it is saying that I have to choose a valid condition type. So monthly reporting, what I have given is not right. That is why I have to change that reporting period. Condition type I have to change. I will select some other. Let's say weekly report. Let me try. Okay, fine. So this is correct. I can select the weekly reporting for the waste which I am generating. This is correct. Now go to the disposal channel. Now before you go and fill the details in disposal channel, what you should do is you should select this row. You should select this. Then go to the disposal channel, and then you have to create a details under this disposal channel. For example, select the waste disposer or your vendor who will be disposing the waste. We have just one vendor for this waste. It is this ID is 0015. Select him. Purchasing document. If you have generated a purchasing order, purchase order, you can add that purchase order number. Okay, let's say this. Sales item number is fine. Sales document not required. You can keep it as it is and press enter. Again, wherever it asks you, should the numbers be assigned internally, say yes. So for our disposal channel also, it has given a number 41. Okay, then go to the last tab, waste approval tab. Here you should select the waste approval document. There will be many waste approval documents. Whichever is applicable to you, you should select that waste approval document. Let's say this 3003. I will select this and then enter. Release status cannot be assigned. Okay, because this approval document is expired in 2019 itself. It has expired, so I cannot keep the status processing status as released. I have to change it to expired. I will change and press enter again. Then it will not show anymore. Okay, and then what I can do is I can save this waste generator. So while creating a waste generator business partner, I need to enter the details for waste generator. Okay, all these details need to fill. Waste generation, what type of waste, how much quantity, blah blah, all that story you have to write in this. Okay, who is the inspector, when was the last time the checking was done, all the details you have to enter, why it cannot be avoided, what type of condition, waste number partner if you have, we can enter that, quantity details, enter all that under waste generation. In disposal channel, you should select the waste disposer. If you want to dispose your waste after generating this P182, who is the approved waste disposer? you should select him under disposal channel. And if there is a PO, purchase order, also generated against this name, then you can select the purchase order and then go to the waste approval tab. In waste approval tab, you need to select, it is gone. You have to select the waste approval document. Okay, assign that waste approval document. Let's say this 3003. If it is expired, you can mention that the document is expired. Waste approval document is expired. Then continue and save your waste generator. Okay, so like this you can create your waste generator. This is one of the vendor which I have created, vendor or business partner, whatever you call, by using the transaction code WAA01. Similarly, if you want to change the details of the waste generator, WAA02 you have to use. Again, you can go into this if you want to change something like company name. I will make it as a what do I call? Correct integrated services. Let's say this is my company name. I will change it and then save. Okay, I can change like this. Or I can even add the authority assign number. I told you regarding the license number. Don't forget. So if I want to add the details of my license, and also if I want to add authority assign number for this waste generator, I can add it. Go here. Okay, select the validity area. Maybe India is the validity area. Authority assign number, you can select something like this. Return within 14 days. I told you about that acknowledgement, remember? So once you send your waste to the disposer has to return the acknowledgement within certain time. That is known as a return, document return. That is normally 14 days. You can mention that. And the validity of your authority assigned number, let us say it was given on 1st March 2019 and it expires again on 1st March 2022. This is your validity period. Press enter. Then go to licenses. If you have any license, okay, against this waste generator, you can enter that license number. See here, both the license are related to Germany. Now, what to do if I want to add a license type for India? Because India provides a different license type. What I can do in this case is I will go to SPRO. Okay, SPRO reference ING. Go to waste management, master data, and you will find specify license types. So go here, add a license type, some license type you can add. 15. License for waste generation, India. I will write like this. Okay, I will make it 25. Okay. Then this license for waste generation, to which role? Who can take this license? I can even decide that. We'll go to license types per role, go to new entries and add the role. the role will be something like waste generator. I want this only for the waste generator. Okay, add this role. Save. Okay, then go back. Yeah, okay, so the new license type is also added. Now go to your waste generation wherever you are. Okay, here now you can select the new license type. Or if you have the number for license, maybe like this. Okay, add this license number. Validity period again, select 15 8 2019 15 8 2022. Some additional number if you have, you can add, otherwise it's okay. This will be sufficient. This account assignment is not for us, it will be done by the accounts department, so leave it as it is. You are only concerned with authority numbers and licenses. After creating them, we can save this data. Okay, so this is how you can change the details using WAA02. There is one more transaction code WAA003 WAA03 to display the details. Here you can only display without changing any data. Okay, for our waste generator, you can see I have added certain details under waste generator, waste generation also. We have details, disposal channel, and waste approval. Okay, and I can only display these details. I cannot edit anything. So WAA01 is used to create a waste generator, WAA02 to change the waste generator, WAA03 to display the waste generator. These three transaction codes are very important, and similar transaction codes we have for waste transporter and waste disposer also, and we will see them how to generate the waste transporter and disposer. But for now, I think this is sufficient up to the waste generator. We have seen different transaction codes with respect to waste generator. Okay. Any doubts so far, Shivdeep? Did you see how we created the waste generator?
Sir, no doubt in this functional part, but just want to know in this
Hmm.
waste management, all we need to do is just to create the waste generator, waste transporter details, or something else is also required
As an
from
end
us.
user, yes. As an end user, you have to generate the disposer, generator, authority, as well as transporter. Okay, not only that, you can even create the disposal document, entry document also you can create. Okay, that is
Okay.
from as an end user. But if you want to go in more detail, if you want to understand the configuration part, then remember I created one license type I created.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you want to create such different license types, you can go to SPRO. See here, I created this license type now. So you can create various configurations here related to license, condition types, waste approval types, processing status, waste relevant material types. You can do all the configuration in this part in waste management, starting from basic data. You can do the configuration work. But why I don't deal with this, because configuration is a very simple activity. All the data will be given by the client. They will tell you what you need to do the configuration. You just have to look at the document and you have to fill the data. That's it. So that is why I don't go into much detail in this.
And so many
For
of the
example,
places
if
use phrases, so that could also be
uh,
created from SPR.
it can be created, but for that you have to go to the phrase management, which we have seen. No, you have to go to
Oh,
that phrase management. You have to first create a phrase group, then create a phrase set, and then you should create the phrases.
and how it would be interlinked with this waste management, sir?
Here
Directly.
it can be interlinked by, you should ask the technical consultant. What he will do, he will see here create phrases. It is given, but there is no execute function here. I cannot press, I cannot select anything. It should be like this, this execute button is there, no? If there is a execute button here, I can directly go and create that phrases. But here it is not given. So what you should do, you should follow our phrase management, create the phrases there, then you should integrate with the waste management. That is the only option.
So here it is not
Because
given because of the server issue, or normally it doesn't appear.
no, it is normally done in the phrase management, Shivji.
Okay, 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 sir.
Because basic data and tools is where you will do all that activity. The data related to EHS is actually present in basic data and tools. So that
Mm-hmm.
is why our phrases are created in basic data and tools, but they are connected to whichever component we want to use. Like if I want to use it in waste management, it will be integrated from basic data and tools to my waste management. Though they have given create phrases, I cannot create phrases. It is not possible. Even if I double click, it will not go anywhere. Or if you want to see some documentation, you can see the document. See here, they have given clearly. Create phrases in phrase management in basic data and tools component and assign them to the fields. Create or import phrases in phrase management in basic data tools component and assign them to phrase sets. So your phrases are actually created in your phrase management. Then what you should do, you should assign it into the waste management component.
Okay, sir.
But
Okay.
here it is not possible. You cannot create phrases in waste management. That is why this execute button is not available. Okay, and other configuration and all you can easily do, like creating license types or validity areas or condition types. You can configure as per your requirement or client requirement. You can do this easily. But again, they will give you the data. See, it is not that you have to think and do it. It's not like that. They will give you the document that is known as a configuration document. You should look into those documents. As per what they have given, you have to configure here. Suppose in license types, they will give you the details. What license type, what should be the code for the license type. You should go to new entries. Whatever they have given, you have to select, and then you have to save that license type. Okay, that data will be given by the client. So I don't go into the configuration part. I hope it is clear up to now.
Yes, sir. Clear, clear.
Okay. So actually, I wanted to give you this creating a waste transporter and disposer. But since we don't have Yuvraj this week, what I will do, I will again explain. I will take up waste transporter or waste disposer in the next class. I will show again how to create that. Because if you see compared this with a waste disposer, everything will be same. Here, four tabs are there. Even there will be four tabs. Let me show you that. I will just take another 2 minutes. Okay. I will just take another 2 minutes. Okay, see here. You have four tabs here: waste disposal, waste disposal, disposal channel, waste approval. Same thing with waste generator also. Same thing. Waste generator, waste generation, disposal channel, waste approval. So that is why the basically the data is same what we enter in the waste generator. So I will take up how to create the waste disposer. I will teach you that. Then maybe you can create authority and then waste transport. So that is why let us connect in the next class, and we will create waste. Maybe you can log in the next class and you can create waste disposer while I will be guiding you from.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
Okay. Any other doubts, Shivdeep? I will share the notes, man, after the class.
So request you to please share that sample CV and interview questions along with the notes and videos.
Good, good. You reminded me. Sure, I will send also that also. Okay.
Okay, sir, okay.
Fine, Shivdeep. Then take care. Okay. I will share all the related documents to you. Next week we will connect and we'll discuss further.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem, Shivdeep. Take care.